Okay, the next day of our self-portrait project, and we've so far created our head, our neck, our lips and teeth, our eyes and eyelashes, as well as our eyebrows. Now we're on to our nose. We're looking a little Voldemort-ish without a nose right now. So I'm going to create a new layer, name it nose. Now, in my opinion, I think the nose is just the most difficult thing to create because the nose is the only thing that protrudes from our face. And so we have to create it in a very unique way. We can't actually draw the nose because if we do, it's going to look like a pig nose, like a snout. We need to actually draw the shadows that happen on our face because of our nose. Let me show you what I mean. Let me zoom in here. So your nose is there. But if I try to draw this shape, it's going to look really bad. It's going to look, again, like a pig nose. What I'm going to create is the shadows that my nostrils create on my face, right here on the right and the left, as well as the nostrils themselves. I can put my nose ring, and then eventually I'll add highlights after to really make the nose even more like pronounced. So let's start off with the shadows around your nostril. Now, depending where your light is hitting on your picture, yours might look a little different. If yours doesn't have any because the light is so bright, I would imply some, like make them up just to give your nose some depth. Because the light is hitting my face here and I have a little bit of shadow here and a little bit. And thank God for that because I think creating would have been a little harder. So we're going to start by making this overall shape of where the shadow is. Now the shadow is really, really light on mine because I'm not in a lot of darkness here, but that's basically what it looks like. Now obviously that's not the color I want. I'm going to try to steal the color of my neck because that's a little darker than my face, and that's a good shadow. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, that's a good place to start. Now I need to draw my nostril shape as well as the shadow that my nostril has underneath. So I'm going to give the general shape. And I'm going to even make this shape a little bit darker. Not all the way black, but pretty close. So it's a very dark shadow on my face. And then lastly, there's like this little shadow here that's forming, and I like to make it because I just think it makes a difference. And you'll see as I'm drawing this, some of these things are implied, meaning like I'm making a guess or I'm choosing to put shadow. It may not be as obvious in my actual picture, but I want this to have some depth, so I'm going to kind of fake it. And that's a pretty good start to a nose. Now for the next part, if you're wearing glasses, it's going to be super helpful. Now I don't have glasses in this picture, obviously, but I provided a secondary little video starring a former colleague of mine, Mr. Tron, who was wearing glasses in his self-portrait, so he can teach you how to create glasses.
So we're making glasses, right? Let's go ahead and make a new layer for those glasses. These will probably be on the top layer, or at least on top of your eyes. And let's zoom right in. I'm going to switch into outline mode so that we can see what we're doing. And just for our sake, just for your sake really, I'm going to dim the image so that you can really see the black lines that I'm creating. So first we're just going to trace around the general shape of the frames. Great, now that I got the frames, I'm going to go ahead and trace the lenses. Cool. So here we got both the lenses and the general shape of the frames. Just so that we can see, I'm going to change the color of the lenses. Okay, but we want to be able to see our eyes behind it. So with all of these selected, switch to your shape builder tool. And if you click on this part, on each of these, now you'll notice that they become their own shape. We've kind of cut those pieces out. So I'll move them back and change the color back. I hate when it does that. You know what, let's make it a light blue, almost white. Oops. What we can do is just change the opacity down really low, 30–20%. So they have a little bit of a tint, kind of like glass, but you can definitely still see behind it. On top of that, if I take a look, the glasses look a little flat. There's not much depth to them. Something that I can do is just trace around and get the thickness on here. So I'm just going to trace this for a bit. So here I have an open path, and it's just trying to fill it in with color right there. I don't really want that to happen. So what we're going to do is create a U shape instead and close up that path. And from here, if I select both of these, and that being my new U shape and my lens, I can use my shape builder and subtract all this extra. That way I still have my lens and I still have this part that I created, the whole thing. So moving this one all the way to the back, I can then change the color of this. So you can tell that the lenses are in front of that part, especially if I turn the opacity up. Play around with it, see what works well for you.